Newvem helps you with doing capacity management in the cloud. Doing capacity management for the old data center, for the physical one, takes a lot of time. And it's not only the time that takes to actually build the equipment, install, buy, set up, configure. It's always the time that it takes to plan your capacity. And the reason is that you don't have much flexibility to make mistakes. Once you decide to install something, to buy an equipment, you begin a process of procurement and waiting for the equipment and installing and setting up. It takes time. And you don't have also the ability to deprovision things. You cannot scale down. Once you bought something, you're stuck with it for 3 to 5 years. Capacity management in the cloud allows you to make mistakes. And it's not about making mistakes for the sake of them. It's about learning from your mistakes. You don't have to invest so much time as you would do in a traditional data center when you're doing capacity management. By investing less time and taking the steps and deploying your capacity and then looking for your mistakes, learning for them and interacting, then you'll be doing the right capacity management in the cloud. The cloud allows you to make your capacity management process faster. This is very valuable in a world that business is unpredictable. Your business grows and shrinks, and you want your IT infrastructure to grow and shrink accordingly, to be optimal to your needs. So a faster process allows you to iterate and improve and get to that optimal stage faster. And you're continuously adapting to make sure that your infrastructure is optimal. We call this process of iteration cycles of continuous refinement. These cycles of continuous refinement comprise 4 steps: plan, measure, analyze, and improve. First thing you need is your baseline. You need visibility to your assets, to your cost, and to your risk. And the cycles goes like capturing your current usage status, identifying and planning refinement areas, measuring usage, analyzing usage, improving usage, and then planning for the next cycle of continuous refinement. Your cloud baseline is the history. You need access to the historical levels of utilization and capacity. You need access to capacity provisioning operations and their impact. And then you need to assess effectiveness of past activities and further improve. When it comes to planning, you need to understand your current levels of capacity and utilization. You need to identify future needs based on change trends and projections, like the exhaustions of your resources, folding times, measurement. You need to understand how your provision capacity for each dimension is changing. You need to understand your utilization's impact on each dimension. You need to identify what is changing as expected and what is changing at the wrong rate and needs calibration. When it comes to improvement, you want to compare the current levels of capacity and utilization with the previous levels and with industry levels, with your peer group. Understand what is the common practice and what is the best practice. Newvem provides the data you need for your cycles of continuous refinement. Newvem Analytics provides you insights, indicators, reports with all the data you will need for each one of the steps. For example, the indicator underutilized instances gives you the number of instances that are not being used at all. This is capacity that is installed, being paid for, and not used at all. The respective report specifies the actual instances and provides details like the current status, the change, trend, projected values, folding time, exhaustion time, everything related to the elasticity of your resources. Newvem provides a series of metrics for capacity management and utilization. They are indicators, reports, insights covering your compute resources, your storage resources, your network, your reserved instances. These allow you to understand what is your capacity and utilization for each one of these resource types. For example, the indicator instances underutilized CPU gives you a list of instances that can be resized. That is, you can replace a big instance with a small one and pay less. An example of insight, Newvem will tell you how many reserved instances you should purchase and why. In conclusion, Newvem helps you doing capacity management in the cloud, assuring that you have the exact capacity that you need.